There was this guy who
Fuck,
I thought I pulled up Skype. I pulled up Spotify. I didn't even know.
Hey everyone, you're listening to Another Way Around, and this is the AwayCast, episode 28. Been a while, guys. We've been on hiatus for like 3 weeks. That's well, 2 really. It's the most we've been out in since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of our debut in March.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here with Gregg Delarocca.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm also here with Joshua Hinkie.
What up, y'all?
From Chicago. I missed you guys a lot. It's a little bit of a lie, but I did miss you guys. We haven't talked video games in a while, even though a lot has gone on.
Yeah, I miss getting this attention. That's what I miss.
A lot of stuff is happening right now.
We are 1 week away from the launch of not even. We are 5 days away from the launch of the PlayStation 4.
Snap.
Huh? That's it, guys.
It's getting real.
It's
getting
new.
real.
It is getting real. Everyone's all set. We're gonna usher in a new age. But before we get into that, Gregg, how was your weekend?
It was alright.
I didn't do much. Did some work.
I mean, honestly, it was fine. I didn't do that much. I worked on some music. And
Gregg's working on some new music. Sounds really good.
Music, and I played some games. Well, a game.
Gregg played a game. Gregg jumped back into the world of Skyrim.
Yeah, it's something I do when I just want to get away from the world.
It's actually really funny because like this last week has been a really shitty week at work. Not to steal the spotlight from you.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh. Gregg, we're done with you.
I gotta talk about myself for at least
Don't
5
worry.
minutes.
Don't worry. I didn't have a bad week or anything.
Yeah, I mean, Gregg approached me before the podcast and was like, John, I really would like to let some emotion go. I really want to get out here and I want to let the world know my feelings. And Josh, you know what? Forget all of that. Go ahead, man. How was your week?
Yeah, see, okay, I'll steal it. It was like it's been a shitty week, but I've been listening to Skyrim at work because like just the like ambient music will like be soothing. Like that's my stressed out music.
Good. Okay, was that worth cutting me off for a whole minute?
Good. I was contributing to the conversation.
So Josh listened to the Skyrim soundtrack, Gregg. So that's way better than any emotional roller coaster that you could have been on this week.
I made a character named Michelangelo Di Lorenzo de Casto, and he's a sneak with daggers, and literally I just go around and I kill everyone. I ruin every mission. I kill every single person I meet. In fact, I found that the very first mission of Skyrim, this was a great little glitch, if it's not already known and very popular, because I just found it out, was that the first mission in the game, you're going through like this dungeon with this guy, so the game starts, and you can't kill him. He'll always come back to life, so you can just beat the shit out of him with all your weapons and level up. I was like level 20 when I left the first dungeon. Yeah. Just from hitting him. It took me about 45 minutes. I just beat him with light weapons, heavy weapons, and I leveled up super quick. It was excellent.
Like a pretty big oversight.
Yeah, massive.
But at least you got to let loose some of that aggression we were talking about, Gregg.
Yeah.
You got to dagger.
Yeah.
Not like the Jamaican dance dagger. No, actual dagger. Okay, you know what? Let's move over to Josh now that you have the spotlight. Gregg, if you have anything to interrupt Josh with, make sure to do it at a very
I wouldn't do that to him.
No.
Okay.
All right, Josh, how have you been the past few weeks, weekends, all those things?
It's been good. My sister came down to visit this weekend. We got really, really drunk at a work party.
Big surprise.
Yeah, what can I say? It's just and it's good to know that I just don't drink a lot myself. My family drinks a lot too, so it's a family of alcoholics.
So you can blame all your dependencies on like any hereditary, forthcoming.
Exactly, it's all genetics.
That's cool. Do you guys do any plans around the area?
Yeah, I mean, I took her to the Shed Aquarium, that was cool. I don't know. Like, I mean, it was an aquarium. That's how I always feel when I go to a zoo.
Not
or
to
something
interrupt
like
you or
that.
anything like that, Josh, but I was actually just watching. I don't know if any of you guys know that season. All the seasons of Dexter just came out on Netflix.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, nice.
at least
And
five
it's-
stuff
it's,
to watch.
Josh, hold on.
I
Josh, hold
promise
on.
Oh, hang on a second, Josh. It's pretty important.
Josh, hold on.
And,
Go ahead, Greg.
the show is really good.
Dexter?
Yeah, I've watched 3 seasons in like 4 days.
Yeah, I heard it's really good.
It's kind of revving down a little bit, but I heard season 4 is pretty great. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So everyone check that out. Netflix, Dexter.
Dexter. All right.
Yeah.
Josh, what were you saying something?
I was trying to contribute to your conversation. That's all I was trying to do.
Well, I was busy interrupting yours.
I guess you're all done, huh? So we haven't talked to each other in 2 weeks, but so we got watch Dexter on Netflix and check out the Skyrim soundtrack.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
that's where we're at. I did something really cool. Well,
Okay.
John, what is it?
Oh, John, what is it?
I went for Kate and I's little 2-year anniversary. I got tickets to Sleep No More. Have you ever heard of this? Have any of you ever heard of this?
Well, I have, but that's because you told me about it.
Same thing here.
I told everybody about it because it's one of the coolest things I've ever done. It's at the McKittrick Hotel on 27th between 10th and 11th in Manhattan. So if you're ever in town, it's definitely, it's not so much of a secret anymore, but it's definitely, I would say it's like the city's best kept secret show thing. So, wow, where do I begin? You know? So you get there. We were on Maximilian's guest list. The tickets were a little more expensive. Went there. You get to cut the line, and when you go into Sleep No More, it's like a 1920s setting. So it's this hotel, the McKittrick, which has been reworked, 4 or 5 floors reworked to look like you are basically going back in time to the 1920s. It's very, very eerie and scary. So I show up with Kate, and you walk in, and immediately you're in like a lounge with a smoky room with red curtains, and there's actors around and stuff, like being very sultry and buttery.
Buttery?
I don't know, like what would you say? Would you say like butterscotch, like chocolate syrup? You know that kind of attitude.
Are you just saying dessert flavors?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think of like what that like sultry. Come on, Josh, use your wordsmithiness.
Salty? Like
No, like they're very, very suave. Like, hello, darling, welcome to the McKittrick Hotel. Like they speak very slow and sultry. I'll just use sultry. Okay, so you go in, you get your mask, right? You put a mask on because when you're inside the hotel, there's no talking, and you're encouraged to go alone. So they corral everybody in. Long story short, Kate and I, they split us up on purpose. So they let us out into this giant hotel museum thing, and basically throughout this whole hotel, there are actors and actresses like performing among the hotel in certain areas. But they let us out on like the 3rd floor, which is dressed up to be like somebody's house in the 20s. There's like an office and a baby's room with a crib, and man, I want to talk about it really in detail, but it's really difficult to get to the point. Obviously, you can see I'm dancing around it, but they drop you off, and basically you're just walking around a strange place. Like it's the most like a video game I've ever felt in my entire life. So you're just walking around. Some people are starting to scurry about, like the other people that were in our group. But you're encouraged to go through everything. So you could like open drawers, go through notebooks. There's music playing in all the different rooms, or like really dull hums to get the mood right.
Did you steal anything?
I didn't steal anything.
What's wrong with you?
Why would I steal anything?
Why wouldn't you take a cool prop or something?
I don't need any of that. It was cool enough to go through and read through. You, Greg, you'd really like this.
Of course. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I would have taken something.
So you're walking through, and it's set up to be like this old mansion office, and then you go through another part. You're supposed to be outside, and then there's like this 1920s hotel lobby, and there's like actors and actresses all about, and there's a dance floor and the best part is just like Gregg Gregg would love it because he stepped away for a second, but the exploration feeling feels just like a Fallout game or like some kind of survival horror game. Like the way you're walking through the hotel and going from floor to floor, just exploring and opening things up and reading documents, and like you're encouraged.
And you're just by yourself this entire time?
Well, there's other people around, but there's no talking, and you have to wear your mask the whole time.
Can you tell who's like an actor and who's just part of like who is like you who just paid to get in?
Actors are not wearing masks; they're actually acting.
Okay.
So what
you see other people wearing masks, you know that's like another guest.
Exactly, those are the guests. What they attempt to do is follow the story of Macbeth, Shakespeare's Macbeth, through everything that's going on. But people have gone to the show like 4 or 5 times, and they haven't seen the same. Well, they haven't seen everything yet. So you walk through, and like there's this one zone where it's like a city street from the 20s. There's like a candy shop and a tailor and a funeral.
Is there no guarantee that you are going to see the action that happens? You just kind of have to be in the right place at the right time. So
eventually it gets to the point where people figure out what's going on, and you can follow the actors and actresses to other parts. So There's an instance, I don't know if you remember in BioShock 1, but when you're going into the funeral parlor area, you know what I'm talking about?
Not specifically.
Anyway, there's a funeral parlor area, and it's just like that in BioShock. When you walk into this guy's funeral parlor, the guy's in there like, writing in his notebook, and he gets up and walks over to the tailor, and some people follow him to the tailor, but like I stayed behind. And I went through his notebook, and I started reading like all these people who passed away. That shows like their time of death and etc.
So nothing's roped off. You can go about and touch whatever you want.
Everything and anything that you want.
That's really cool.
So it got very interesting, like because we were trying to go through doors and things that maybe we weren't sure we were supposed to or not. But we ended up discovering all these new places. You get up to the top floor, and it's set up like an infirmary or a what do you call that? An
embalming station.
An orphanage.
Oh.
And there's these nurses walking around. And once again, like I said, you're encouraged to touch, not the actors, but you're encouraged to like look through, touch everything, pick up the phones, go through the notebooks. I'm probably talking in circles because there's way too much to explain, but you can get tickets for $85, and it's worth more than any Broadway show I've seen so far. It's the most unique experience I've ever had. It's the closest to the original BioShock that I've ever felt in my entire life.
Do they let people in? Like, do they like? There's a certain point where they cut people off, and they say like, "Okay, we have 100 people tonight. That's all we're letting in."
Right. You have to get tickets for a specific time. So the show goes from like 7:30 to 11 o'clock. But you can go in from 7:30. Like people have arrival times, but you can go in whenever.
Oh, that's really cool.
I Google it, look up the images, look up all the reviews and stuff like that. I did it no justice with my explanation, but it's definitely Gregg, you weren't here a second ago, but I was explaining how I know how you like exploration in games.
Right.
It's definitely
I know what you're gonna say. I don't really do the exploration real life thing. It's just because I don't really like to walk too much. I prefer to sit. It's one of those things.
I imagine Gregg going into the show and just sitting down in the lobby and be like, "Hey, get some actors here. Let's see the show. Come on.
Do it in front of me.
Push me around in the chair, please."
But the exploration factor was, your heart's racing at certain times because you're peering into rooms and you don't know what's next.
I was gonna say, is it like? I mean, just by the pictures I saw, it looks like it's very not like BioShock horror-esque. Like it's more like a thriller.
There's no jump outs. There's no intentional scares or anything. There's some loud noises once in a while, but for the most part, it's just the tone that's very eerie. Yeah. It's not so much, cheap scares.
That's cool.
And in the end, they let you out into that lounge again, like the smoky lounge that you just don't see anymore. And this girl was singing, and I was transported. It was beautiful. I think everybody should go. Very cheap for awesome night.
So, sorry to interrupt, John. We just had a very strange thing happen. Before the show began, I sent out my buddy Ricky to grab us some food. He was going to get John here a bottle of water. I gave Ricky to pay for the Chinese food down the block a bag of quarters couple of singles. John put a single on there for his drink as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seemed fine and completely normal.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky went down to the Chinese place, ordered the food, and he just came back through the door about a minute ago with a roll of money. This card that I'm about to read to you, it's a business card, and all of the food.
Okay.
Rick,
There's some details missing.
right, exactly. Rick, can you explain what happened to you at the Chinese place?
Well, Rick,
into the mic, please.
Right into the mic there.
All right, hello.
This is Ricky, everybody. We've probably mentioned him on the show before, but here he is. Lean in a
you're
little
right in
bit
there.
All right. So basically,
Stand up. There
stand
you
up.
go.
Right.
all right, this is much better. But
Yeah.
basically, I've done a lot of magical things since I've been in New York. I'm originally from Ohio. I go down to the Chinese restaurant. I do the normal thing. I order my food. I start counting my quarters because Gregg gave me an incredibly large bag of quarters, just lots of quarters. I'm counting them, and a guy comes in. He's like, "Hey, what are you going to do with all those quarters?" So I tell him, "Oh, now I'm being pushed."
There you go.
Just getting
All
a little
right.
closer
Get a
to
little
the
closer
mic.
to the mic.
You sound
All
all
right,
right.
all
but
right,
just
all
get-
right.
It's fine. Go ahead.
So basically, this guy says, "What are you going to do with those quarters?" I'm like, "I'm going to pay for my food." And he's like, "Didn't you pay for your food?" I'm like, "No, I got to count the quarters." He's like, "All right, well, I'll trade you quarters for dollars." And he does that. And then he starts asking me about my life and what I'm doing. And I tell him. And basically, he's like, "Hey, how much is your food? I want to buy it for you."
Let me just also say, I live in the middle of fucking nowhere. I live in the middle of nowhere. There's no one even out here. And this Chinese place is the only place open in this whole area. Ricky goes into this place with a bag of quarters, and the guy gives him cash for the quarters and then buys all of our food for us, gives him a card and says, "Give this to some one of the girls at your job." The card says, "Danny the Scorpion Colon." He's a boxer, and his name is Danny Colon, and he's a boxer, and he wants to
is it colon? Is it colon? How's it spelled?
COLON.
COLON, yeah.
That's
Danny
amazing.
Colon. Okay.
3-time Golden Glove.
3-time Golden Glove champion brings you boxing, dance, aerobics. Take it to another level with Danny Colon.
Does
Well,
he
he
think
just
this is gonna get like this is gonna be a good promotion?
Did
No,
he just got a spot on our show. What's
Look,
his website?
I guess he made a good move. The guy made a good move.
What's it? Come on, let's give him a plug.
What's he got here? I don't think he's got a site, but he's got
Twitter.
his address is on here.
Don't give his address.
His email is dcolon245 at nyc.rr.com.
Did he think that maybe you were like less fortunate because you were like maybe you were out all day?
He said that at first, but then Ricky did admit to working at Warner Brothers Music, so the guy knew that Ricky was not poor.
It was like if a guy came up to me on the street and was like, "Yeah, I work at Warner Brothers," I'd be like, "Okay, bro. Here you go. Here's your Chinese food."
I just think it's ridiculous that Ricky just walks in with this stack of cash. I don't know. Thank you, Ricky.
Yeah, good job,
I want
Ricky.
to come out and grab food in a minute. Oh yeah, I'll keep the. John, here's your $1 back.
I don't get a drink. Damn it. Well, okay. I'll take the $1 back. Whatever. That's a good story. But I'm gonna send what's his name? Timmy Colon?
Danny Colon.
Danny Colon. I'm
Danny
gonna
the Scorpion Colon. Will you call
Sorry,
him by his title?
it's the
Jesus.
Scorpion.
okay.
Who works
I
for that?
gotta send the Scorpion a letter in the mail saying, "Where's my water?" Because now I'm parched.
You should let him know you're not taking none of that.
So, moral of the story is go see Sleep No More. It's one of the greatest things I've ever done. I was transported in time. Also, pay for shit in quarters. People will feel bad for you and buy you the shit you were originally going to pay for.
Actually, now that you ordered Chinese food, right,
Gregg?
Yes.
Yeah, now I want Chinese food.
I have some in here. I have boneless spare ribs, General Tso's chicken,
Are you gonna forward
pork
it to
fried
me? Can you
rice, orange soda,
Just
Orange
send it my
soda.
way. Just send it to
Fanta?
Chicago.
Fanta.
Is
and
it like a big one that you can share with
tiny
me?
guy? Sorry,
I can't even get
I
a
know.
drink.
But
in this goddamn house.
oh no, we have bottled water for you in there.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we got that for you, and we also have cheese wontons.
I thought there was no bottle of water.
John, we got everything for free,
Oh, okay.
comped, and I gave you your money back. So stop crying.
Thank you, the Scorpion. We appreciate it. Josh,
Yeah.
Video games, bro. You've actually played some new games. The past couple weeks, I've only been playing 2 games on and off, really, and then cleaning up some other stuff. I played Battlefield 3 recently because I just got my copy back. I finished it. I never finished that game, the single player, and it's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, that single player is terrible.
Yeah, dude, wow, really bad. The checkpointing was terrible, not very designed very poorly. I started to notice that.
From what I hear, Battlefield 4's story is equally bad.
Yeah, so Battlefield, since our last podcast, Battlefield 4 came out, Assassin's Creed 4 came out, Batman Arkham Origins came out, and Call of Duty Ghosts came out. Unfortunately, I'm waiting on all those titles, aside from Batman, for next gen, but Josh, you got a chance to play 2 of those, right? Batman and Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I played both.
So why don't you take it away? Go ahead and start with Batman, since that's the title I'm less interested in. I'm aware that game had kind of a rough launch.
It wasn't so bad.
I heard technically the game had a lot of issues.
So I got it on PC and Ty got it on PS3, I believe. And let me tell you right now, this is like surprise to no one. PC looked so much better. And that game looks pretty ugly on PS4 or PS3. Sorry.
We're at the point in the generation where we're transitioning, and PC is at the we have such a leap and bound between the two at this point that
yeah.
But okay, continue. Sorry.
No, and so it's basically Arkham Origins. You are playing as Batman before Arkham Asylum. You're going back in time. Basically to the first night where you meet the Joker for the first time. That's really what this game hinges on.
Who's Troy Baker is the Joker in this game, right?
Yeah, he was all right.
Well, really, just all right. See, I was impressed from what I've heard.
You were impressed. You heard his thing at Comic-Con?
Yeah, I only heard the thing at Comic-Con.
It's a fucking voice. What are you impressed with?
Did you hear it?
Who cares? Some guy talking, laughing. I'm not Joker.
That's just, yeah.
He sounded my Joker. There it is, right there. I'm not Joker.
Greg, you can do all the voices for the next Batman.
I could.
No one would notice.
I could do any. I could do any Batman character.
Ready, Joker, go.
I'm the Joker.
Do Batman.
Hello.
Okay.
It's me, Batman.
That's pretty good.
Batman telling Alfred that he doesn't need Alfred's help.
Alfred, get out of the kitchen. I can make my own sandwiches.
Okay, pretty good. Riddler.
Oh, it's me, the Riddler.
Okay.
Do Catwoman telling Batman why they can't be together.
You have to include some kind of cat. I got this. There has to be a pun.
Batman, it's just bad timing right now. I just got out of a really serious relationship.
It's not perfect timing.
I just need some time alone right now.
You need to put a meow pun or a cat's thing. That's her.
Oh, meow.
Okay. Perfect. You nailed it. Penguin.
It's me, the Penguin.
Okay, anyway, so aside from
Warner Brothers, you can contact the AwayCast. We have Batman Arkham World covered. So.
Yeah, we have that covered. Only one voice actor. He doesn't charge very much. Also,
2 voice actors.
Who's the other one?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Bill Gregg.
Bill Gregg, can you do Nightwing telling Robin why it's important to be Robin?
Of course. Bill Gregg will do it.
Yeah.
Robin, it's important to be yourself. Go out and have a good time.
This is the best game ever.
Okay.
Robin, you're a beautiful boy. You look so nice tonight.
Oh man, this is getting dirty between Nightwing and Robin.
I'm getting a really strange feeling right now in my stomach. Well,
it's getting a little weird here on the
possibly a little bit lower.
Batman Arkham World is going to be rated AO.
Bill Gregg, say goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay. Troy Baker sounded just like Mark Hamill. That's why I thought he sounded good, but it wasn't as good as Pillow Greg or Greg. Thank you for that, you guys.
Troy Baker has nothing on Pillow Greg or Greg. But that being said, all the voices in that game are pretty they're fine. That is not what detracts from that game. Nor the aesthetic of the game is different, but it also really works because it's on Christmas Eve, so you see a lot of you're seeing a lot of bright greens and reds. There's Christmas lights throughout the town. It's slightly snowing throughout the whole game. And it's actually kind of a cool aesthetic when it jives with the Batman aesthetic of lots of dark hues and this very gothic tone. But the problem that game runs into, and there were bugs, like playing on PC, there are bugs that literally stopped my progress in the game at times. Like there's a Riddler collectible side quest,
right,
and I couldn't do it because the game was broken.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's I heard that technically there were a lot of flaws and they had to release a patch.
Yeah.
Well,
and
like usual, but
that's bullshit. Like that was like, this is a huge game. Like Montreal, this is what Eidos Montreal who made it, right? Or Warner Bros. Montreal, whatever. Some studio in Montreal. Is not Rocksteady who did this game. And they should know the caliber of game they're taking over. They should know the size of this game. And the fact that they dropped the ball just completely in some of these aspects is pretty bad. They also get into trouble because, for whatever your thoughts are on Asylum or City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, the level design in those games is really, really great. The pacing, a lot of the stuff they do is really smart. And this game can't hold a candle to it. There's stuff that just, the way that they blend these things together in Asylum and City is really great. And their boss fights are super intriguing. The way that each villain kind of has their own motif is very intriguing. And Origins feels like they're just riffing on stuff that was already established by Rocksteady. There's none of themselves in that game. And to some degree, that's hard to
You're chopping up a little bit, Josh. Or you got a blizzard going on out there. Anyway, I'll take over for a second. I heard basically what you said. I heard that they played it safe, which is both good and bad. I heard that there wasn't much gambling in terms of trying anything new to the formula. I heard that it was more of the same. It's one of those cases of more of the same, but people aren't sure if they want it.
Well, more of the same, but not as good is what I felt summed it up. It was, they're doing a lot of what Rocksteady did, but they're not nearly as good at doing it.
Right.
It's kind of like you can, if someone's a very talented painter, they could replicate, Da Vinci's work. You can do a replicate of it, but someone who is very acquainted with art can sit there and go, no, this is where you fucked up. And this is where I fucked up. And that's how it felt with this game they're emulating a very great formula that Rocksteady has, but they're not nearly as talented, and so they weren't going to be able to do it right.
Right. The Batman games never really. I mean, I've tried City and what the fuck, Asylum, and they, for some reason, those games just never felt. They just never sat right with me. I felt like a lot of the missions were a chore. Using the grappling hook became a chore. The gliding, it just didn't. Since there's so many other open world games that I think take care of traversal better, at least in my opinion, I didn't enjoy those games as much, so I passed on Origins.
There's kind of a contingent between whether Asylum or City is better. I think it's kind of like with the Elder Scroll games. City was really cool when it came out, and then it was hipster to hate City and love Origins, or love Asylum. It's like, oh yeah, that's the second one. That's not as good, even though it's much better.
Right.
And what I loved about Arkham, and I'm a huge Batman fan, so I think I have that as well. But what I love about Arkham City is I love that feeling of running off rooftops and not knowing how you're going to get to where you're going to go. You have this it's that superhero mentality of just jumping and you'll figure it out, and you're shooting your grappling hook, and you're just literally, it was a very cool way to traverse it. Kind of, how the Spider-Man games really had that cool way of slinging your web around the city, traversing the city like Spider-Man. It's a cool way to just move around in a different light.
Right. I think Saints Row scratched that itch for me, where it's just like jump as high as you can and then figure out how you're going to get where you got to go.
Exactly. That's a very good comparison.
Well, so while we're talking on the subject of traversal, how did you enjoy Assassin's Creed thus far? What platform did you get it for anyway?
I got it on the PS3. There are a lot of things that I like about Assassin's Creed 4. I feel like I have much different expectations for this one than I did for Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed 3 was a giant disappointment for me. I felt like in the end, like that's just not a very good game.
I think I was one of the few people who actually enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
Maybe I just wanted another Assassin's Creed at the time, but I enjoyed that game.
Because of those expectations, because that's my feeling with 4, right? Is, kind of leading into it, I've been saying, I'm ready for that historical fiction, scratch that itch. I'm kind of excited to do that open world Assassin's Creed stuff. And if you go into it with that mentality, you will be perfectly satisfied. It is Assassin's Creed game through and through. There are tons of side missions, lots of collectibles, and that is actually super impressive. I feel like, obviously the worlds always get bigger, but I feel this is substantially bigger with substantially more to do than any of the Assassin's Creed games I played before.
Well, they bring back the naval stuff, which obviously it's Black Flag, it's a pirate game, but have they refined the naval combat, anything like that?
I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun doing the naval battles, and especially like when you start out, it's a little bit difficult because you have a really shitty ship. And so
the Jackdaw, right?
Yeah, the Jackdaw. And originally, like, you almost have to avoid stuff to begin with. That's the only way to like get around, is you have to watch out for the bigger ships. That sucks. That's really annoying.
Yeah, but that sounds neat, because eventually when you become able to overpower those ships, it feels that much more of an accomplishment to reach that caliber. You can. It's like an RPG where you can actually take on the next area per se.
Yes, except that when you have to avoid ships will actively seek you out, and it's hard. Like, it's one of those things. It's kind of that Grand Theft Auto syndrome where you're like, I just want to get to the next mission. That's all I want to do. I just want to get to the next mission. And then all of a sudden you're being chased by a ship, and then you got to run, 50 miles out of your way. And then all of a sudden you get caught into a storm, and then you die. And then you have to, traverse 20 minutes all over again. And all you want to do is just get to the next mission. When you're out there just doing piratey stuff, like when you're doing the whaling, or you are, like looking to build your ship, you're looking to engage in those fights. That's really cool, and that's really fun. It just takes a little while to get into that. And once you do, it's awesome.
So
it's really, really cool.
What separates this from being just another Assassin's Creed game? What makes this better than 3?
It's the pirate stuff. Like, that stuff, like 3, I also felt was... 3 focused a lot on stealth mechanics at certain points, and I thought the stealth in the Assassin's Creed games is ironically really terrible. I feel like it always has been. I'm trying to think of one good stealth mission I've played in Assassin's Creed game, and I can't think of them.
Oh, I think towards the beginning in Assassin's Creed 1, when you were hitting those main targets, there's certain parts where it got stealthy, but once they started employing more projectiles and more poison stuff and more bombs,
exactly.
In Revelations, there was all based on bombs. Like, you're detracting from what an assassin is actually trying to accomplish.
For sure. And then 3 had like a couple missions where it was like, if you get sighted, the mission's over.
There's a fail state. Yeah,
exactly. And those were the missions I thought that were just awful. Like, they're just terrible.
The chase missions were bad. I agree with that.
And you can never tell where you are. You can never interact with what you want to interact with. Those games are like, you have to hold the free run button, and you literally will be dodging through a house, and I'm on this ladder, halfway up the ladder. Why am I on this ladder? Fuck me.
So what mechanics have returned, and what is new in terms of just being Edward? Like, what aside from the sea and the, all other stuff?
You have more guns. The guns are introduced quickly, and which is ironic because it's actually in the past.
See, we're talking about the antithesis again. Like, why guns? Does he have like silenced PP7?
No, I mean, and that is like, once again, this game does not focus on stealth. I think this is almost more of Assassin's Creed being like, we know our stealth is bad. Fuck it, just kill a bunch of dudes. Because that's what there's missions where they'll be like, try and sneak in, and within the first 5 minutes you get spotted by a guard, and you're like, whatever, and you just kill everyone. And so Josh, it's a lot more focused on like engaging 5 guys at one time, shoot this guy, use this guy as a human shield, kill this guy,
right?
Like, scramble.
Josh, what if it's snipers. That it's not that the game has a bad stealth mechanic? What if you're just bad at stealth?
Well, I think Josh openly admits that he's like a run and gun fucking terrible stealth player.
I am. That's very true. But like, where you play games like, Mark of the Ninja has amazing stealth mechanics, or Splinter Cell, like the old Splinter Cell games had really great stealth mechanics. Stealth is very much defined about the feedback the game is giving you. The game should be able to tell you whether or not you're being seen, how you can tell whether or not you're being seen, and then like figuring out the level is almost like a puzzle.
Is there a lot of, huh? What was that?
Yeah, like in Metal Gear Solid, and you walk around with a cardboard box on you.
Must be nothing. I guess I'm seeing things.
But Assassin's Creed does a terrible job of communicating how you're being seen, how you're being detected. Like there are numerous times where I'd be like, oh, this guy's definitely going to see me. I'm definitely going to get everyone called down on me. And they just they would do the, what? And kind of like look over. And meanwhile, I'm like stabbing their friend right in front of them. And they just kind of turn away and go, whatever.
That's kind of like the stealth in Skyrim is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like once you get your stealth level like high enough, you can literally just kneel down in front of someone and they'll just won't even see you. They'll forget that you're there.
That's how I played my first Skyrim character. Yeah. I had my bow all the way up and my stealth all the way up.
That's the best.
And it's just like
rapage everywhere.
You win the game.
Yeah.
But then like the opposite of that is there's moments where I'm like, this guy definitely won't see me. I'm like 3 feet behind him, stabbing his friend, and all of a sudden they'll turn around and they'll be like, "Roar!" And then you got to fight 18 guys, which is fine.
Pirates.
Because in previous games, they would, someone would turn around and see you and they'd be like, oh, game over, you failed. But in this game, there's a lot more of like, fuck it, just kill everyone.
So is it the best pirate game ever made?
Well, what's this competition?
Sid Meier's Pirates.
Sid Meier's Pirates.
I don't know.
And then there's the Curse of Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Curse of Monkey Island. But it's a good pirate game.
It's a great pirate game. I mean, who makes appearances? Blackbeard makes an appeance.
The kid, Billy. What's the kid's name?
There's a couple of major pirates.
Is Johnny Depp in it?
Sorry, go. This is the problem that I have with Assassin's Creed games too, is that they always like try to do this historical context. And then suddenly they'll enter in like one of the more important characters of history and they go, oh, but no one knew I was an assassin. I'm fighting the Templar.
I thought they took it easy on the whole Templar story, this one with the apple.
No.
Really?
I thought so too. But once you start playing it, I think it is one of the more prevalent assassin versus Templar stories.
Really? See, I heard the opposite, but maybe the person I heard it from wasn't too deep into the game. I heard they depart from that a little bit. And I know like you're not Desmond anymore. You're like,
no,
you're going through Desmond's other memories and all the stuff outside of the Animus is like first person and you're like a silent protagonist now.
Yeah.
But Greg had a really good question, Josh. Greg had a really good question. What was that before, Greg?
Oh, I just wanted to know if Johnny Depp was in the game.
Is he in it?
Johnny Depp is every pirate in the game.
Oh, that's good. So they base it all off him?
Yeah, so they're all, and he based his pirate off of Keith Richards. Was that it?
Yeah,
so
Keith Richards.
It's a bunch of Keith Richards walking around as pirates.
Okay, good. Well,
sounds like something I'm going to pass on.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just get
I'm going to Monkey Island.
What about Disney? I'll get Disney Infinity instead.
Yeah, and get the Pirates of the Caribbean Disney Infinity. There's also the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean if you want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
so actually, it's the second best pirate game because I forgot about Lego Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yes. Second best pirate game of all time. It is, like we were saying at the beginning, I feel like if you were just excited for an Assassin's Creed game, I think this will very much fit into that niche. The PS3 version is pretty hideous. There's a lot of really ugly cutscenes. The aesthetic is really cool. I think, Assassin's Creed's always been good at that, of setting their scenes and creating these villages that you can explore. But when you actually when you're actually trying to see what you're interacting with, or, there's, you have character models that are tearing into each other and clipping everywhere. That stuff is really rough around the edges.
I actually just Googled the best pirate games ever made, and the list actually goes: number 3 is Black Flag, number 2 is Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, and the number 1 pirate game is Rape.
Barats.
Rape and murder.
Rape.
Ooh.
Pirate booty.
Rape and murder.
And
that's
pirates.
Probably rated AO as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg.
Sorry, was that topical? No, that was
good. That was good. You chimed in at the right time. I appreciate that. Greg didn't really Google that. But go ahead and Google rape. See what you find.
Oh.
All right.
Mhm.
So do you think you were explaining some technical problems with it, Josh? Do you think that maybe it would have been better to have waited? I heard the better console to play this on was, I'm getting it on Xbox One, but I hear PS4 is the place to play this game.
I imagine, so obviously some stuff is going to get cleaned up for the PS4. I don't know if they're going to get enough stuff fixed in the PS4 for anyone to say that this is a technically impressive game.
I mean, I don't
know if it's going to wow people.
I've seen some tech videos of some of the foliage, and it's during some a thunderstorm. They released some of that stuff from the Xbox One, and it looked really pretty.
That stuff actually might be really cool because once again, one of the things that really bug me is it's like it feels like you're hiding in like 4 cardboard cutouts of a bush, that you're literally just clipping through. And I'm like, okay, I think we've gotten to the point where this is ugly.
Can you really trust these videos that are coming out anymore? I mean,
no. I mean, who the hell knows what that's going to look like?
A lot of these videos. I just found one on Reddit the other day. Xbox was advertising using PlayStation 4 footage.
Right.
Again, these videos are all bullshit. Wait till you get the game.
Right, yeah, don't listen to us anymore.
Don't listen to us. Wait till you get the game. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week on the AwayCast, AwayCast.com. Yeah, dude, there's been so much drama the past couple of weeks. The way that I chalked it up to Josh was that we're in such a lull with games, even though big titles have been coming out. We're in that calm before the storm where everyone is just nitpicking and finding issues or topics of discussion before these consoles actually come out because it scratches their itch. Like talking about it, like amping it up, it scratches their need to play it. Like instead of being able to play the game, they're like, well, this whole resolution gate thing is such garbage. It's really frustrating to read all this stuff about 1080p and
I think it's even worse. I bet it's the people who aren't even getting consoles immediately are the ones who really they just need to talk about something. They just want to feel a part of the conversation, and that's how you can do that, right?
Right. I mean, I watched Adam Seltzer do an interview with I forgot his name, the lead developer on Rise, Son of Rome, and he makes and even Phil Spencer he talks to about how this whole resolution gate thing has everybody up in arms because PlayStation 4 is 1080p and certain games on Xbox are 900p or 720 up-resed, and like it all comes down. There's a difference between aesthetics and graphics comes second to aesthetics. Whereas they dropped the game from 1080p so they can afford 30 or 60 frames per second. They make sacrifices within the software and hardware to make the game look better, not necessarily be at the highest possible resolution. 180 pixels isn't going to make a difference, but what is going to make a difference is amount of characters on screen or facial cap or RAM and system specs going to these things. Resolution really isn't the problem. So.
Well, I think you touched on it right there because people get so fucking tied up in
numbers,
these graphics, but numbers. But to be honest, you sit someone down and you say, what's the difference between these two screens? And you're talking about very minute differences where if you sit someone down and you show them a picture of a character smoking and that's where this generation, that's going to be the big difference is if they can improve the way that characters interact with objects around them. Because right now it's they pick up a glass and watching characters drink is one of the most ridiculous things that we currently see.
Right.
It's they tilt the glass up, nothing touches their mouth, and then you can basically just see the corner of the glass get smaller. And they're like, oh, they drank it. Listen to the sound noise.
Right.
It's fucking terrible. So if you can improve the way that characters are interacting with something, if they're picking up things, you look at the difference between the Elusive Man when he smokes in Mass Effect 2 and Big B Wolf smoking in
Wolf Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us. The smoking looks better because in Mass Effect 2, it looks terrible. It looks literally like the stick is grafting in and out of Martin Sheen's hand. Whereas it actually looks good in The Wolf Among Us.
So, don't worry so much about resolution, everybody. Worry about where they're allocating other resources, like smoking and drinking. But, next year it won't even be an issue and patches, etc., ad nauseum. So AC4, I'll let everybody know how I like it on Xbox at the end of the month. But that's that. Josh, that's both of your games that you've been playing, really, right? Anything else?
I've been like I got AC4 just because I wanted something to play, but I've been feeling like you, where it's like I might as well wait until next gen because what the fuck is the point, right?
Right. Exactly. So I've been playing more PC games than anything. I finally got my beta invite to Hearthstone about 2 weeks ago.
Did you have to hold someone's child hostage?
An entire orphanage hostage. I got
Just
one
so
key.
everyone knows, John has been nose to the grindstone on this Hearthstone.
Yeah, but get
beta.
this, like I'm so stupid. I've been waiting to get an invite to this beta, and I go on my Blizzard account, and I wasn't even opted in. So I opt in, and 2 days later, I got an invite from Blizzard. Like I didn't.
So
have
it turns
to,
out anybody can get it.
pretty much.
John's not special.
I'm not special. Anybody can get an invite, but I mean, BlizzCon was this weekend. They announced that they're going open beta in December, and I recommend everybody play it because Hearthstone is going to make them a lot of money, and it's a lot of fun. It's a CCG collectible card game where it's similar to Magic the Gathering, but man, is it pretty. Like, it is such a good game. All heroes from the Warcraft universe. Very competitive. They have the like ladder matches, well, arena battles rather. You earn cards. They keep your cards. Basically, everything that someone who plays Magic the Gathering wants out of like an online Magic game, they pretty much did it with Hearthstone. The execution is almost flawless. It's great game. I've only spent like $20 on it so far. It's definitely a slippery slope, but they don't.
What do you spend money on?
You can either buy cards or you buy
Packs?
You buy packs of cards.
Do you have to do that though?
No, you don't. Or you can buy entrance to the arena. And now what the arena is Greg, we've played Magic before where, you buy a whole bunch of packs and you make a deck and you play each other, right? It's a draft basically. So it's like either $1.99 to enter or $150 in-game currency, which you can earn through completing daily challenges and stuff like that. So you don't have to pay for anything. It's one of those, pay if you'd like. But it's something I'd gladly pay for because at the end of your arena matches, you get cards anyway, and you get, currency and dust. Dust you could use to craft cards. So basically, in the arena, you play till you get 3 losses. So people go 10-3. And the more you win, the better your reward is at the end. So what's
your record right now?
My best record in arena isn't that great. It was like 4-3. Nothing too crazy. I'm not great at drafting. I'm pretty good. It's definitely, even though I'm not winning, I'm definitely having the most fun drafting because it requires the most, like on the fly thinking when you're putting your deck together.
Are you getting noticeably better? Are you seeing yourself improve?
Well, let me say right off the beginning, like right off the bat, it helped playing Magic the Gathering, and it helped playing any collectible card or trading card game or collectible card game that I have in the past, because the way that you think, the way that you learn to manipulate the cards in your favor definitely transcends all trading card games. But they do a really good job, even if you've never played a card game before. They do a really good job making you play each. Well, in the beginning, you get, I think there's 9 different characters. So you can be a rogue, a priest, a druid, a shaman, a warrior. There's a couple more that I forgot. A hunter, and a mage. There you go. And only those characters get specific cards, but then there's universal cards for everyone. So as you start to play them, you can play against the AI and start to unlock cards and level up that one character. So as you unlock cards, you can add them to your deck. You can play with the stock deck. When you complete challenges, you can use that money to either buy packs, which have you open 5 cards, and they have the same kind of thing that Magic does, or loot in World of Warcraft or anything, where it's like common, uncommon, rare, legendary, epic, legendary. And you use those cards in game, and it's awesome. The matches go quick, between 5 and 10 minutes. It's very addicting. It's awesome. It reminds me of playing chess or Magic, obviously, but I always associate Magic with chess, where the rules always change. But it's It's fun.
It's good that it's quick. Do you so like you can get in, get out?
Yeah, you play one match, you can get off. Even if you're in the arena, you don't have to play all the way through. You can play one match, come back
What's the
later.
coolest card you have? What's the coolest card you've come across?
Well, let me just say that it retains the same charm that the entire Blizzard universe has. So, like, the way these cards are coming off the page and interacting with each other, and that the way that the game board functions, everything is in, like, that 2.5D, where the cards, like, they sway and move, and when something attacks something, things fall off of it. The game board is interactive. It's funny. It's very funny. They keep social interaction to a minimum, which is pretty good, too, so there's no griefing or anything like that. I thought you were going to say something.
No.
But it goes open beta next month at the City BlizzCon, so I totally recommend everybody play it. It's very addicting, very fun. Mike actually got an invite to the beta. I was playing with him. You can use your custom decks and play with your friends. There's no trading, though. That's one thing. You don't trade cards. You have your binder, your virtual binder where all your cards go.
Can you sell cards?
You can, not online or anything. You can break your cards down into dust and use the dust to make cards that you really want. So if you buy cards and you get like a super rare card, like the rarest card in the game, right?
But you don't want it, you're just stuck with it. You can't sell it.
You either break it down to dust or you keep it. There's no no profitability in real life for it.
Will there be, or is that just beta?
I haven't heard anything of it. They haven't talked much about adding new cards or anything.
That's what I really like about Steam right now, is I've been making money playing Steam. Steam has been buying the games for me.
Yeah, trading cards.
Yeah, I've just been selling everything. I play Counter-Strike, I sell everything I get, and I have money all the time. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, you end up making a couple extra bucks. Counter-Strike actually did something really cool recently. Greg, didn't they do something
for Halloween? The ghosts?
The ghost chickens?
Yeah.
No. Something again with some kind of donation.
Oh, I haven't played in like 4 days.
Something. I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't know enough about it. I just saw a little tab on Reddit about it. But yeah, dude, Hearthstone. It's going to be awesome when it goes out to everybody. It reminds me of just being a kid again and playing card games with friends. I don't know. Or even recently when we used to play Magic games. Haven't done that in a while. So it definitely fulfills that need. And it's so well put together. That it's going to make Blizzard a lot of money, along with the piles and piles of cash they have from World of Warcraft subscriptions.
Dude, they know their niche. Like, they know how to scratch those itches, and they know exactly how to milk those cash cows.
Well, while we're talking about them, BlizzCon was this week. Might as well get this out of the way. They announced a new World of Warcraft expansion. What's it called? Worlds of Drain
your life. Draining your soul into
Worlds
this game.
of draining the rest of your little lives. Yeah. So Worlds of Draenor they announced, but the big announcement was Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's actual follow-up to, I guess, Dota and League of Legends. Even though Blizzard was behind all of that, they kind of got the shaft when it came to it. But it's a MOBA, clashing the world of StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo all together. And I have to say, it looks really cool. It looks refreshing. I don't know if either of you have seen any videos, but it adds some more objective to the traditional MOBA that we know right now, where it's like, okay, jungler, laning, etc. They get rid of a lot of those tropes, and they seem to make it a little more fun. You can play as heroes like Jimmy Raynor or Diablo or, Uther from pretty much all the big Warcraft people. You can play as all the Diablo classes, like Witch Doctor, the Demon Hunter, etc., etc. But it looks very fun. I don't know when it's playable, but they showed it at BlizzCon, and it still retains that same tight Blizzard aesthetic where everything has that very, recognizable look to it, while even meshing Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo together. It's still very recognizable as like a reputable Blizzard product. So
they make such interesting choices at Blizzard. Because basically what they do is I don't want to say cash in, but they point their company towards the large social based games like MMO, card game, online card game, MOBA, strategy games, like all of those that are just massive online worlds, community based. It's really interesting. They don't make what we would consider the typical games anymore. They very much are focused on community, and they do it well. They have like BattleNet is huge.
What about the Lost Vikings, bro? You guys remember the Lost Vikings?
I do not remember that at all.
What? Greg, you remember the Lost Vikings?
Lost Vikings?
Really?
I remember Land of the Lost.
No, Lost Vikings was a game on Super Nintendo and Sega where you
the way Super Nintendo worked or Sega worked in my house, as far as games are concerned, I went to the game store, and if it looked cool, I bought it, which means a lot of games didn't make it home with me.
No, they're disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, Lost Vikings was
Lost
Blizzard.
Vikings did not. If I saw Vikings, I would have said no thanks.
Well, they were like in space and
I want
stuff.
robots. I want naked girls. I want
Duke Nukem.
I want cool guys with sunglasses and flat top hairdos.
Spot. Remember Spot? Cool Spot.
I wanted Bubsy the cat.
Bubsy the cat's a good one. Or was it Bob? It's like a robot. Bob. B-O-B.
I don't remember that, but I remember Cyborg Justice.
Everyone knows.
A lot of getting home, shoving that cartridge into the Super Nintendo, and instantly being disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, now I'd be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back on it, I was always very excited. And thinking about it, those games are incredibly repetitive and pretty much terrible for the most part.
Yeah.
There was a point in the Sega and SNES middle area of there where every game was the same and reskinned. It was all like side-scrolling platformer with different little gimmick. But
yeah.
So, well, Blizzard, man, they know what they're doing. That's what they're Blizzard. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's a good company motto for them.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, I played WoW for a while. Not too long. I didn't get very competitive with it, but you're right, Josh. It seems like all of their stuff satisfies that sweet spot of charm mixed with dedication.
Yeah, social interaction.
Skill, and I guess, for lack of a better word, addiction. Like they're all very addictive.
Which is smart. Like, I mean, and so many companies try that. They try to replicate that. Like, oh, this is the game you're going to put 200 hours in and never put down. And they fail. You know, Blizzard seems to know how to do that exceptionally well. It seems to be the thing that they do.
And with
they're still working on Titan. You know, they gave an update on Titan.
Do you have details on that? I didn't read too much about it.
I mean, they said that it's changed. That like basically they hit a point last year where they decided that they were that what they had was not right. I think that has to deal with subscription model. They kind of realized the subscription model MMO is dying, and that if they put out Titan as a subscription MMO and then, you know, probably wound down World of Warcraft, they would never get that back. That, you know, World of Warcraft is a moment in time, and that's why it was successful.
It seems the way that consoles are going, well, even PC games or any game that was announced at E3 last year, it had an emphasis on online play, or, you know, MMO online play, that did not require subscriptions. That really really harped on the genesis of like the single player and multiplayer hybrid kind of new way moving forward. It seems like that's where all games are lying, you know, with Destiny and with The Division, you know, even with MMO demos that we were seeing forever, EQ Online, seems like...
Well, I was going to say, like, you know, when Elder Scrolls Online said they had a subscription, they took a lot of shit.
Right.
And I think, and that is, at this point, the most anticipated MMO. And for that to have a negative reaction with people, you know, so amped as they are for that game, like, I don't think you can do subscription anymore. I just don't think anyone is going, unless you can unlock the Rosetta Stone that is World of Warcraft.
Well, it seems like, you know, subscriptions are the way of technology and the way we consume our entertainment nowadays. I mean, we have Netflix, Hulu, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, you know, regular cable subscriptions. how many more do we need? When we subscribe to Netflix, we're getting all of these movies. When we do it for Xbox Live and PSN, we're allowed to play all these games online together. Like, who are you with this gall to tell me that I have to pay to play your one game? I think that's the way that a lot of people probably look at it. It's like, I'm not going to pay you what it costs to have 2 Netflix subscriptions to play your online game only.
Yeah, and for some people, that is their game's budget. You know, $15 a month is, you know, what they'll maybe get a couple games a year. And so for them to put $15 a month on one game like World of Warcraft or ESO is asking a lot of them. And then be expected to pay like $30 for an expansion. Yeah. It's just, we're in a really weird place economically for our media. We're in the transitional phase. You know, we're in full swing of it now. We're not just saying we're seeing these subscription models appear anymore. Now we are, you know, most people are dedicated to these subscription models. So people are wising the F up and being like, listen, bro. It's going to be really interesting to see how that evolves with the next. Like, so I was just going back and looking at like how this previous generation was very much about consumer versus creator. It was, you know, the consumer was always pissed because they're always being charged fees or DLC or something like that. And the creator was pissed because they were having to find these avenues of revenue that they hadn't had to seek out before. So you had day one DLC, you had online passes, you have the subscription model, you have free to play. And it basically created this massive schism. And it only feels like as we're heading into the next generation, now people are starting to say that the creators are saying, come back. We aren't going to charge you things. We're not going to be looking for that money. We just want you to buy the product. And it'll be interesting to see if that continues or if that reemerges at some point. People are going to start pushing, you know, more and more add-ons or peripherals or something like that. Like EA is the perfect example, as Eon has been like, no, we're done with online passes. We promise there'll be no more online passes. I played Path of Exile. It's a free-to-play game, just like Diablo, actually, an isometric dungeon crawler. And I have to say, you know, I put $10 into it just to see. And I think that is the real comfortable spot, or at least what prompts me to spend money on a game is that I put like probably 20 or so hours into Path of Exile with me and my friend Mike. We were playing quite a bit, and the game is great. It's like people were saying, it's the Diablo 2 that everybody wanted, aside from Diablo 3, like the Diablo 2 sequel, rather than this new Diablo 3 machine. And I had a great time with it, and I was like, you know, they offer this much content for free. Let me put $10 into it and see what happens, because they did such a good job with this. I guess that's more of a gamble on the developer's end, but the game was fantastic. I played it front to back, spent $10 on it, bought some glowy items just because I felt like, you know what, this game, it warrants me to spend my money. Like I felt comfortable because these guys worked on this project for 7 years. And, you know, I saw guys walking around in the same town I was wearing like $500 worth of shit. So I think when they show that they're outputting as much as they're you know, that they want to intake from people who are willing to spend the money, I think it's worth it. So, but Path of Exile is a great game. I got it on Steam. If you want to scratch that Diablo itch without playing Diablo, go for it. A lot of cool classes and stuff. The typical RPG stuff, but it was fun. And then we have the other angle of things where we're mobile gaming, where actually Rayman Fiesta Run just came out. I don't know if either of you have ever played any of the Rayman games on your mobile devices. No, never. No. But it actually was getting legitimate reviews on gaming websites. It was like Rayman Fiesta Run, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, etc. So it's recognized as you know, an actual game. And after playing Rayman, what's the new one? Not Origins. Legends. And loving that so much, I just figured I'd give it a try. It was like $3 on the App Store, and it's probably my favorite game I've ever played on my iPhone. So, wow. Yeah, it's great. It's you run through a level, like it's a nonstop runner, obviously, but yeah. Eventually, you unlock Punch, and you have to wall jump, and you have to collect all the
damn it, what are they called again? The little gold ones.
The lums.
Lums are the gold ones. The lums, and then the blue ones are the.
Oh God.
The blue guys are the.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
so weird name
you collect the lums, and in each level there's 100 of them, but you're constantly running, so you want to get that perfect run where you get all 100, and you unlock the next levels. And they don't really. It's not like Plants vs Zombies where they're pushing the microtransactions on you. It's actually quite pleasant because I guess you pay the $3 up front, and they give you enough. So,
I had a friend who's been. She was a huge fan of Plants vs. Zombies. She's been suffering through Plants vs. Zombies 2. And she hit her wall with that stuff like just a couple nights ago where she was on her phone. I didn't know what she was doing. She literally just looked up at me and she's like, fuck it. I'm done. I'm done with Plants vs. Zombies 2. It's just not even fun.
It hit that Candy Crush zone.
And she was like, they're just frustrating me to pay money and I just won't do it.
Greg, you never played Candy Crush, have you?
Never. I've never played it.
I will. Do you have a strong opinion about it? Like, I will never.
I just don't like games like that in general. Like, I just don't like those, like,
match 3
games. I'm just not interested in them. I'm sure if I start playing it, I'd get addicted to it because that's how that game is designed.
Would you spend the money to like advance?
Oh, never.
That's so ridiculous to me.
I would never do that.
This is like old news and everything, but more people at work are talking about it. Like, I ran out of lives, so I spent $1 so I can go to the next level. Oh, yeah. Fuck. That's like horse armor to the max, man. That's like, remember the first microtransaction? Horse armor for Oblivion?
Yeah.
And it's like, God, now people
the DLC experiment.
People have to pay $1 to get to the next level. Either that or send all their friends invites on Facebook to play Candy Crush, which I get on the regular, right next to my Bitstrip comic fucking things. You guys get Bitstrips on your Facebook walls?
No.
I had those dumb comics?
That shit.
Never.
Really?
I spend a lot of time when I'm on Facebook unsubscribing from people.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Feels like you're purging, like, fuck you.
So I only see, like, the things that... I leave some of the bad ones because it's ones that I think are funny. Like, there's this one girl who I went to middle school and high school with who has a child, and she's a Christian, and she's obsessed with, like... how terrible Obama is, and
they're funny.
Jesus is coming back, and how she's a mom, and you can't tell her anything because she's
right.
Yeah.
Got the hottest job in the world.
There are men in coal mines shaking hands with the devil.
Yeah, anyway, that's a Bill Burr sketch. But I'd love to read her stuff because it's so funny. It's just so ridiculous.
Well, it's good to keep those people on your Facebook wall that you can like keep your life gauged.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not there.
I'm having a bad day. Let me Oh no, they're having a bad life. That's never gonna get better. My day will be better tomorrow. So
it sucks though, but a lot of those times those are the people that are like blindly living like they post the positive things. Do you think that's projection? Or you think they literally think that like it's the best?
Well, the positive things that they're posting are all ridiculous.
Right. I love the people that post shit on Facebook like, oh my God, I have no time. I'm getting no sleep. I'm doing like, yo, get off Facebook. Yeah. Why are you telling people you have no time? Huh?
Yeah, I don't know why they're telling you that.
But yeah, Bitstrip comics. I hope everybody's suffering through those fucking things. You can turn them off, but I hate them. It's like the new easy meme that makes no sense. Mm-hmm. I bet you most people know what I'm talking about, Bitstrips.
Bitstrip.com. Check it out.
Please don't. Please don't.
Another way to ruin your life on the internet.
Yeah.
Josh, you're a little laggy tonight. A little lagged up.
Oh,
you're doing the hentai thing again, aren't you? You're doing the hentai thing again.
Oh my God, bro. What color's the tentacles? How much? What color is the tentacle?
Damn.
Oh man, he must have just.
Does he even hear us? Josh, we're making jokes about
what color the tentacle is.
Josh, we're making jokes about that you're downloading porn right now, and that's why your connection is so bad.
Oh, which is true. And I'd appreciate if you guys would stop me from, or just let me download the porn without calling you out on it. But
okay, I just wanted to know which.
Well, it's ruining our show.
All right, I'll put a pause on it, but I'm coming back to this.
All right.
Tentacle and anime.
Let us know when you're all set.
No, I'm good now. Tentacle and Anime Girls is on pause, and
Okay.
I'm ready to talk now.
Okay. Hey, Call of Duty came out. You guys ever hear this game, Call of Duty?
Wait, colon duty?
Dragon colon.
Is a scorpion in it?
Scorpion Dragon.
Ooh.
So Call of Duty, I don't know if you guys remember, it's a World War II game. Only World War II.
Well, we've been through a lot of different
they evolved out to
points of
Vietnam,
history
or
at this
are they
point.
still in World War II?
They went to Nam. They went to the
Did they?
future
They
and
did
back.
Oh,
All using the
Black Ops is in
same,
Nam,
all just reskinning the original game.
Yeah, over and over again.
which is smart.
I remember the first time I played Call of Duty on my PC,
Mm.
doing that D-Day invasion.
You got home from school, and you went and you had a disc.
Got home
It was
from
a demo
Bab-
disc you got on the back of PC Gamer magazine, and you pulled it off, and you popped it in, and you get that first mission, and that door opens, and you run out, and you die right away. You go, what am I supposed to do? Then you realize you can hide behind those things that look like you can't really hide behind them. Those big metal things in the water.
They're called hedgehogs.
The hedgehogs. At first when you run out, you think you can't hide behind that, but first they let you, and that's what you got to do if you want to survive that mission. Hide behind the
30
hedgehogs.
seconds.
And that everything's moving. And wow, this is the most realistic thing I've ever seen in my life.
And you're
Call
like,
of Duty, welcome.
it was just basically Saving Private Ryan, that first mission.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But it was
though.
it was a very good version of Saving Private Ryan.
I remember first booting that up, and like the boats on the left and right of you get blown up.
Yeah.
And you're
sick.
like, oh shit, this is fucking crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And now we got dogs. We got dogs and ghosts and fish. Bad Scooby-Doo episode. So I didn't pick up Call of Duty. I'm waiting for it on Xbox One. But they admittedly came out and said their pre-orders and their sales were not as good as last year's.
But they also said a couple months ago that they were going to outsell
Right.
Grand Theft Auto and Battlefield.
They're gunning for them. I don't know the sales for Battlefield, but I think a lot of that has to do with people like me that are waiting to get it for the next console. But Josh, you haven't played any you're not a big Call of Duty guy, right?
No, I think I might just skip this one altogether.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it got lackluster reviews for the single player, which is whatever. I mean, I heard it's pretty much like same shit. They're invading the U.S. and it's very droll and boring. I'm not.
No, especially at this point where I'm trying to not only am I going to be playing, next gen stuff for the rest of this month, but I'm also to the point where I want to kind of get back and make sure I get plenty of times with games that I missed
Oh God, he started downloading
earlier this year. And when it comes back, when we're at the end of the year, when we're talking about games, I just don't feel like we're going to be talking about Call of Duty. And
No,
so it's
you're right.
Why would I do it?
It's going to be eclipsed by the other 10 games that are coming out in the next 2 weeks. But I do want to get my hands on Extinction Mode, which looks fun. I'm a big fan of Horde mode type games or wave-based survival games. I'm hoping that maybe we can get a crew together and do that, Josh.
Wave-based survival games like Wave Race 64.
Oh yeah, ride the dolphin. Dolphin
Sorry.
Park.
Dolphin Park.
Wave Race.
64.
Yeah. So I'd like to do that. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do is get 4 friends together, and I like zombies. I'll do some Extinction Mode. But I know that it's going to be me by myself trying to get to Wave 10.
I'm thinking Battlefield's looking pretty good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Battlefield looks good.
That's where I'm at. I think Battlefield is definitely going to be the first person shooter I sink a lot of time into.
That's going to be the multiplayer first-person shooter I sink a lot of time into. Because like I said, I just finished Battlefield 3 this morning, and wow, that game, that single player is fucking terrible.
Yeah. I actually never really liked most of their the Bad Company was pretty
Bad
good.
Company was good.
Because it's a little funny. The single player was pretty good.
Right.
But for me, Battlefield's always just been a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
It's the multiplayer is so good.
Yeah, it's widely known. I mean, it is definitely. But if they're gonna market it like an emotional single player experience this time around, it's like,
Well, maybe they're right though. Maybe we're gonna get surprised by that.
yeah, I hope so. I mean, but people are saying it's not. It's
They're already
out.
saying,
yeah. People are saying it's not. I'm hoping next gen treats it right. It's not going to change the story at all, obviously, but I'm hoping that the visuals are enough to keep us invested. And the multiplayer is going to be insane for us who haven't played it on PC very much to get 32. Is it 64 player servers?
Yeah, it's 64 player. So
64 players.
There's no downgrade anymore from PC.
Right. So we're ushering in that era of games where we can have 64 players, and not like MAG, like a really good renowned game.
I bought MAG. I couldn't get one match to work.
Yeah.
I tried playing it for like 2 months and never worked.
Yeah, they weren't ready for that.
And when it did, the game was terrible.
Mm-hmm. No. There's going to be commanders. I'm very excited for Battlefield. Once again, Call of Duty, though. I like the Call of Duty single player. It also scratches an itch that I need. But, excuse me, you like that burp there? That's an Italian sub.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like since Modern Warfare 2, those missions have become even more and more condensed into literally a tunnel that they're just funneling through, and you're just following dudes and kind of mopping up whoever isn't dead. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's kind of like. I played the first, maybe third of Black Ops 2. I felt like that game was so, I didn't feel like I was having any effect on the level. Like, not only was I in a linear story, but I felt even in that linear story that I was still like, well, they'll shoot most of the guys. I just got to make sure I grab the 3 that they miss.
Well, Black Ops 2 is not a linear story.
Yeah, I know you can path off and stuff like that. And maybe I just never got that far into it.
Yeah, it diverges at certain. It doesn't diverge, but the outcomes will change. Which is, I thought, was a step forward for them, but apparently they resorted back to their old formulas with this one. So,
and I don't know. I wish, because they always propose themselves. They always think that they are showing us this is what modern combat is. This is what our wars are like. But it's not. Like, I mean, they're giving us this like not too distant future, or it's always in this world where South America is banded together and nuked us. And I wish they would stop that and drop that attitude and actually give us there's tons of shitty wars going on right now that they could give really, really interesting looks into.
Yeah, it's always that odd dystopian future war where it's China and Russia, and they have a coalition to set a nuke off in Times Square.
Exactly.
And it's like, dude, seriously, that's what Battlefield 3 story is. I played it today. It's like, they're going to send a subway with a nuke in Times Square. And it's just like, all right, fucking bored
Rock,
of this.
Paper Shotgun wrote an amazing article about this and about comparing the old Call of Duties to the current Call of Duty. So I'll give them credit, which is kind of where this train of thought comes from. But literally, those old Call of Duties were based on realistic war experiences, taking, experiences from veterans and then trying to replicate it in those graphics that they had. And today they've come into almost like, a monkey waving a U.S. flag around. And it's just, I have no time for it.
We probably missed a few keywords there, Josh, because you keep stuttering tonight. It's all right, though. I heard monkey, U.S. flag.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. So at the end of the month, once again, I'll get my Call of Duty impressions out there. But right now, the shooter I'm looking forward to the most is Killzone Shadowfall, because that game looks beautiful. I can't wait to play that game.
Yeah, Killzone. You played 3. Have you finished it?
I just finished 3.
How do you play first-person shooters on the PlayStation and enjoy it?
You're gonna like the controller. You're gonna like the new controller if that's what you think the problem is, because that's what it was for me. Even when I played Killzone 3, the triggers were like, ugh. And the biggest improvement on the DualShock 4 for me was whenever you had to put the thumbsticks inward, they were way too close. They've spaced them out like another half an inch. It changes everything up. The super control. I mean, you use the controller too, Josh, right?
Yeah.
Very, very comfortable. I think you'll like it, Greg.
You said it perfectly. Adding that
damn, man,
inch of space on the controller is really what does it. It doesn't feel so crushed anymore.
Josh,
am I coming in cutty?
Yeah, why? Why tonight?
I thought you stopped the downloading.
I did. Maybe Ty's downloading.
What about your backup porn computer?
Yeah, the other porn computer.
Well, I download porn on my phone. You think that's what it is?
Well, disconnect that from the Wi-Fi, put it on 3G, and just make sure your data plan supports porn, tentacle porn.
I'll make sure to do that. I also tell Ty to stop downloading porn. Ashley's probably downloading porn. We might have a problem in our house.
Yeah, well, just get one server that's dedicated to download porn, and you can all share.
That's probably the smartest thing to do.
So Josh, I asked all of us to prepare our kind of like top 10 of this generation, but Greg and I both did not, and Josh did. I want to talk more about next gen titles, but we'll get to that after this. Josh, we're gonna run through your your top 10 generational list, and we'll see if Gregg can correct you.
Okay. I'll give you a list for your consideration, and you can tell me where I went wrong.
All right, so we'll spend, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll go through the top 10 quickly, but I'll let you say like one or two sentences on why you included it in your top 10.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with number 10.
Okay, so number 10 I have is Batman Arkham City.
Okay. Well, we talked about that a little earlier today, and you had yeses and nos about it, so why'd that make your top 10?
Wait. I'm sorry. We started the top 10, and his number 10 is Batman or Arkham
City.
That's his number 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gregg's documenting everything right now. Beep, beep, boop, beep, beep, beep. Go ahead.
Okay. So mostly the reason for Batman Arkham City is the dynamic combat that it created and the counter system, which has almost become something that games, namely Sleeping Dogs, has tried to copy from that game. And like I said earlier, I felt that compared to Asylum, Arkham City did an amazing job of creating that I'm jumping off a rooftop. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going to figure it out when I get there. And just that like dangerous feeling of being Batman, of being a superhero.
Right. I'll go with you and say that combat system, while it wasn't completely new and original, it definitely refined it to a point that it was, it stuck to the namesake. Like when you think Batman, Arkham, whatever, you think of fluid combat.
Yeah.
Number 9.
Number 9 is Super Mario Galaxy. I threw a Wii game in there. Is that all right?
No.
Okay.
No, that's not all right.
That counts. It counts.
Because the Wii U came out last year.
Yeah,
but
no, that counts as this generation. That counts.
Yeah,
I mean, don't know if I would put that in.
That's disgusting.
But
yeah, you don't like Super Mario Galaxy?
I literally,
Worst
my
game
stomach,
ever.
my stomach just turned over.
Well, Gregg's gonna be like the anti-hype man over here. He's gonna just like downplay all your shit. But I thought Super Mario Galaxy was a great game.
Horrible
Yeah, I mean, it
choice for
riffs
top
off
10
of
though.
the Mario formula just in a completely new way, and the best Wii game. I can't even think of one that compares.
Agree.
Number 8 is Hotline Miami.
Nice, good call there.
Yeah, I thought
pretty
that
good.
an amazing arcade game. It's a game that is incredibly difficult but incredibly rewarding. And it's the only game that's like that you could find. You won't find another game that riffs off of what Hotline Miami did.
I'll definitely say that's one of the best soundtracks of the generation.
Oh, so good.
Pretty good.
Number 7 is Uncharted 2, Among Thieves.
Nice, good choice of the Uncharted series. I'll say that number 2 is probably my favorite as well.
Yeah, I felt like number 2 was the first one of those. I felt 3 did a lot of the same stuff that 2 did. And that game did an amazing job of creating that cinematic scope of video games. That iconic moment where you jump from one building into the other building as it's crumbling is one of my favorite moments of this generation. It's a moment like me and Ty were sitting there playing it, and we just went, "Oh fuck, that's amazing!"
A lot of action games aspire to have the same set piece, feeling of awe that you get when you play Uncharted 2. So good choice.
Exactly. Number 6 is Journey,
Nice.
which I felt was a great example of how indie games have risen to prominence in this generation.
And Journey was nominated for a Grammy, right?
Yeah, and the first game soundtrack to ever be nominated for a Grammy. And
Did it win?
Also, no, it did,
Did
not
it win?
No, it did not
No.
win.
Okay.
But yeah, like that was also a game that is totally different than anything you'd play. It's there's no combat. It's literally exploration.
I will say that is one of the most original multiplayer experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, definitely. Number 5 was Skyrim.
Great. You can chime in on that one.
Skyrim. Yeah,
That's a game.
that's a game. Wait, what number was that for you? Number
5.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Skyrim, is probably the best fantasy game of this
I
generation.
haven't heard King Kong yet.
Yeah.
No. Spoiler alert, King Kong's not on this list.
I was waiting for number 1.
All right. Keep going.
4 is Red Dead Redemption.
Is that your only Rockstar title?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
You liked Red Dead better than Skyrim?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Different games. Different
I
stories.
Are they
like-
different?
They are different games.
I like Skyrim a lot, but Red Dead Redemption is once again feels so unique.
Why did it feel unique to you?
because the Wild West setting, like
So
there's tons and tons of fantasy games out there, but how many games do you get to play as a cowboy?
there was no
around,
there was no Will Smith in it though.
Oh fuck, there isn't.
No, you better
DLC.
swap that with Skyrim. No
Okay,
Will Smith.
we'll bump it down. Number 3 is Fallout 3.
There you go, Greg.
Fallout 3 should be number 1.
Well, you're gonna get your list too.
Yeah, you can make your own list. This is my list.
It should, Josh. You should put that as your number 1, dude.
Go ahead, Josh.
So what about Fallout 3 made that in your top 3 now?
It's as far as exploration games go, I felt that was the best, and I feel like the elements of choice, the story in Fallout 3 is stronger than any of those Bethesda games.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that. I love those Bethesda settings.
It's a great meandering narrative, like where you are allowed to basically create your own story based on how their narrative is out there somewhere. You can piece it together however you would like to make your own.
Exactly.
Got nothing to say about that, Greg? Nothing to say about Fallout 3? That's your favorite game ever?
I don't want to talk too much about it because if I'm going to have a list, I'm going to want to talk about it on my list.
All right. Fallout 3, number 3.
Number 2 is Portal 2.
Oh, good one. Is that your only? Is that your only from the?
How does Portal 2 beat Fallout 3?
Oh God, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew the last 2 were gonna hurt after.
God.
Yeah, here we go. I love Portal 2. I thought that game. I think that game connects to people a lot more than Fallout 3 does.
Did you play through that?
God.
Did you play through that first time co-op, or did you play through it by yourself?
By myself.
Good.
And as far as games go, that like comedy's so hard to do in games, and I thought Portal 2 is one of the few games that really made me laugh out loud.
I agree. That was probably one of the funniest games I've ever played.
And this is so my number 1 is going to be super controversial, and I thought a lot about it, but I'm going to keep it. All right,
Craig, get ready to flip out.
Yeah, this is my number 1
because it's not Kentucky Route Zero.
Kentucky Route Zero.
It is Mass Effect 2.
And
right. I would love to do that trilogy, but obviously picking one game, it'd be Mass Effect 2.
Okay, well, tell us a little about why Mass Effect 2.
Choice has been like something that this generation has tried to do over and over again. And I feel like it very often does not do it well. But I felt a lot of stuff you could do in the Mass Effect trilogy and having those choices carry over from game to game, having those characters grow and change individually to everyone was super impressive. And I thought Mass Effect 2 was the pinnacle of where those choices, like Mass Effect 3, those choices start to get narrower and does not pay off. But I thought Mass Effect 2 did an amazing job of giving you more choices, building on relationships that you liked, getting rid of the ones you didn't like. And that game felt completely individual.
Very good. Pretty solid list for the most part. It's gotta be,
you had like 2 good games on there.
it's got to be difficult. I mean, I haven't compiled my list, but I have a solid idea of what I'm going to have in there. I just, how difficult was it for you to narrow it down to those 10?
I had to go completely on my favorites at some point. Like I tried to be pretty objective at the beginning. And at one point I had to say, all right, what game do I have a close connection to?
Yeah, because it's got to be difficult. I'm thinking when I'm putting together this list, I'm going to be like, well, which one had the greatest impact? Like I don't really want Call of Duty Modern Warfare to be on my list, but it influenced...
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was number 10 at one point, but then I was eventually like, it doesn't mean a lot to me. It means a lot probably to a lot of people.
What about like Resident Evil 4?
Yeah,
but that was GameCube.
GameCube, actually, yeah. So that's one.
Oh, right.
One before, or games that were influential that weren't.
Well, one thing you will like a huge thing that I could get docked for that is not important to me, but it would be important objectively would be BioShock. Like BioShock's missing from this list. It'll definitely be on yours.
Yeah, but
BioShock doesn't mean to me what it clearly means to you. You
right.
know?
Well, even BioShock does. I have my own personal connection with that, of course. But I'm thinking that it's hard to omit games that obviously have these gigantic cultural impacts on gaming and society and like the turns that they take. I mean, you included Hotline Miami, and you chose to omit games like Limbo and Braid and other indie titles that probably have the same amount of influence, But I think when you probably put that list together, you were like, well, I have to include like 1 or 2 indies, and it's going to be between the indies. Like, you probably didn't put Journey up against, or well, maybe
Train Simulator.
Yeah, or Zombie Sniper.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or what's that other great game?
Agricultural Simulator.
Yeah, Sim Ant.
Sim Magazine Stand Salesman.
Sim
Meth Addict.
Right.
Yes. No, Sim Meth Addict was bordering on my top 10, but I chose
you were Sim Abortion Doctor. That was number 11.
Was number 11 for sure.
Sim Abortion Doctor.
Sim Abortion, the well-known cult classic.
Yeah, overall good list though, Josh.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to get your guys' list as well and compare them, because like I said, there's stuff that I omitted that I will like openly admit was like objectively is super super influential in this generation.
Right, but you're right. Like if it's your own personal top 10, you have to pick.
You know, could Kentucky Road Zero even be on the list? It's not even a finished game. I feel like you can't even really put that on the list.
Well, exactly.
I think it should.
I thought about that too.
But the way it affected you and the way you talk about it, like you're passionate about that game.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not done. Like I have no resolve to it. I might hate it. I might say it's like top game for me now, but then who knows when it's over? I'm disappointed by it. I feel like it's not. I feel like I can't really put it on my list.
Speaking of that, Josh, I figured that you might have The Walking Dead on yours as well, but
the technical crap.
Yeah.
And it does choice and writing really well, but then I summed that up with Mass Effect. I was like, that's
right.
I felt like those games are great, but it doesn't do anything completely original. And man, that game is so fucking glitchy.
Right. Yeah.
Fell short for me.
I noticed there were no handheld games.
Yeah, I'm not a big handheld guy in general. No mobile games either, I guess.
No, but overall, pretty solid.
Yeah.
So next week,
let the internet hate it. Let them come and find me.
So, Greg, me or you next week?
You choose.
You choose between like who's gonna go.
We can both do ours next week.
Okay, we'll do both of them.
Yeah.
We'll both go next week.
Yeah, why not, man? Number 1, Chex Mix challenge. When you're the aliens,
Chex
Quest invaders.
You got it in cereal bowls.
Cereal bowl box game.
Cereal bowl box game. So that's it. I mean, like we are just several days away from the launch of PlayStation 4. Josh, I know you're picking yours up. Greg, you're gonna get yours a little later, probably.
Yeah, I'm holding off right now. Money's a little tight.
Even that aside, I think maybe the wiser guy might be the one that waits a little while to see what happens.
I'm the wiser guy.
That's Pillow Greg, everyone.
Pillow Greg, are you picking up either next gen console?
Yeah, I have all of them on reserve, and Greg can't play them. I'm Joker.
He's trying to take your impressions now, Greg. So, Josh, what are you picking up on release day for PS4?
We're doing Killzone and Knack, and then probably Battlefield 4 or Need for Speed Rivals on the PS4.
Let me just get everyone privy to what I did today. My friend Sean, who I've mentioned before on the podcast, kind of gave me a heads up about this Target sale that's going on. So Target, being that they're releasing everything early, like games are hitting stores before consoles are hitting stores, Target was running a sale which started today. The flyer ran today, where for the rest, I think the next couple weeks or however long the ad runs, they're doing buy 2 games, get 1 free. No matter what it is, it's buy 2 games, get 1 free. Now, typically my experience with Target is that they usually have some trashy mess running the games department and shit is everywhere and it's a fucking nightmare. I don't know if anybody's ever tried to buy...
Excuse me, sir, I need to get into the cabinet. Can I get into the cabinet?
The side stores at Target, Walmart, all those places are like hell to deal with stuff on release day, and
white trash hell.
Yeah. you don't know.
And then you sit there and you're like, no, the one to your left. No, the other Battlefield. It's got to be in the blue case, dude. I can't play the other one.
Yeah, you got to get that one. Oh no, the pallet's back there. Nobody scanned in the SKUs. You're gonna have to wait a little while. Like nobody ever knows what's going on. So Sean had the right idea, and he gave Best Buy a call. And some other stores do the same, where they'll price match. The store didn't price match, but we called 1-800-BEST-BUY and talked to a representative. And thankfully, it's like someone from Texas who's like super nice and they're awesome. And I canceled all my Amazon pre-orders and I went with... I gave her all the SKUs. Like I went on bestbuy.com, got all the SKUs for all the games that I wanted this month. Went down the whole list. She put them all up, and I ended up. Total it was 9 games, but I ended up only paying for 6. So I got 3 free games, which ends up saving almost $200 in the long run. So I totally recommend anybody do that if you're going to buy games in bulk. A little secret of the pros. Thanks, Sean. It was really good looks because. Definitely am spending close to $1,500 on video games this month.
You have your PS4 at GameStop?
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
So Amazon will be delivering it on Friday. And
do you kind of want to go? I kind of want to go at midnight to GameStop just to get the like, you know, see where the fever pitch is, how excited everyone is.
Well, I'm going. Remember on the last last podcasts I mentioned that Sean got in a really bad accident, broke his leg, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be driving him to the midnight release. He's on crutches and stuff, so cool. He's fine now. But I'll be driving him to the midnight release anyway. So the Best Buy over there is where I'm going to be picking up my games from that I ordered. So I'll get those there. I'll probably go hang out at Sean's for a little bit, play, and then the next day I took off work. So.
Goddamn right you did.
Yeah, so for PlayStation, I picked up Knack, Need for Speed, and Killzone. Unfortunately, they didn't have Lego Marvel Heroes, but that's something I can wait on. That's just something I'm getting because Kate and I are going to play through it, so I'll get that later on.
Because it's easy.
Yeah, Kate, it's
so
easy.
A girl can handle it.
A baby game.
Baby game. So, after I canceled everything on Amazon... When I assumed a lot of people started canceling their pre-orders on Amazon, they came up with a deal that if you have 2 games pre-ordered on PS4, that they give you a game for free now also. So heads up for that if you guys have PS4 games pre-ordered. And then Josh, you have your Xbox One pre-ordered where?
That is at GameStop. So I got to go. I will have to go and slug it out in lines for that one.
But you have it pre-ordered, so you're guaranteed.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to sit there like... I want to get in and get out. You know, I don't want to have to sit there in line for like 2 hours while people, you know,
you won't,
around.
dude. When it's something like
GameStop's only one step up from Target.
But GameStops are only getting like 10, 15, 20 pre-orders of this thing. You should be able to pull up at 11:30, walk in at 12, get your shit, and get out.
See, that's kind of why I want to go for the PS4 launch, where obviously I'm not buying anything, but I do want to go there and just kind of see what type of shit show it is, so I know like how long I'm gonna have to sit there and wait and waste my time.
Right. Well,
I should have gotten them both off Amazon. But
Union Square is crazy for releases. We went there for GTA. It was, we went to just try to promote the AwayCast. It was pretty fruitless. We really didn't do much because it was a madhouse, and I figured for console launches, they called us and they were like, oh, come on down a few days before, finish paying off your console and get access to all these exclusive things. We're doing giveaways. There's gonna be a party. They try to make you feel cool, and so you could continue to fund your power up card or whatever the fuck they have. But I ended up getting for XB1, I got Call of Duty Ghosts, Battlefield 4. I ended up caving in and getting Rise because recently what I've seen of it is I actually am kind of excited for it.
It at least feels a little bit different than the other games, right?
It just looks pretty.
In the mind of a simpleton, yeah, the game does look pretty interesting.
Right, exactly. That's why I love it so much. And that's why my other games were...
I'm excited for Rise!
Lego. I want to be Russell Crowe. How do I be Russell Crowe in that game?
Russell Crowe kill. Do it.
Russell Crowe, 10-hit combo.
Russell Crowe. That's what I'm going to scream at it the whole time.
Assassin's Creed, Dead Rising. But as we get closer to launch, it seems like a lot of these games that people had doubts about are starting to appear like whole games. So it should be exciting. Also on the 23rd, I'm going to be doing that thing in my house, having a couple of friends over. So the day after Xbox One launches. For Extra Life. I know everyone did theirs. Actually, Josh, you did your Extra Life 24-hour thing. How'd that go?
I did. That hour, I'm just giving you the warning, and maybe it'll be better because you'll have a ton of people around. The hours between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. are the fucking worst.
Well,
that's
It was daylight savings. You got an
their
extra
time.
hour. Like the clock went back to 1, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, and then even like it was really funny because I sat there for my third game. I was like, what am I going to play? And I tried playing Torchlight 2, and that was a fail.
Yeah,
like, it was.
That's a mindless slasher. Eventually, like you fall right
Exactly.
asleep.
And so I was literally just sitting there, almost falling asleep while playing. I was like, no, we got to get this out of here. So I ended up playing Mirror's Edge, and that was awesome. I was having a lot of fun with that. So I even ended up I did 26 straight hours. So I looked at my clock and like, oh, it's over. Oh.
And then you proceeded to watch football the rest of the day, right? You didn't go to sleep.
I made it through the Vikings game, and then in like the halfway through the second game, I was like, fuck this, and I just took a little nap, recharged, woke up, watched a little bit more football, and then went to bed.
Well, I just want to say we hit our goal of $1,500.
Yeah, thanks to everyone. It was really awesome. We
Yeah.
had last second heroics come in.
Yeah, Josh's the Hinky crew definitely showed up at the end and started throwing some dollar bills in Josh's G-string.
I told you, they do not come quickly, but they will come. And that's
Right.
exactly what happened.
So, doesn't somebody have to get some sort of confectionery item thrown into their face?
Yeah, I'm gonna get pies in the face. I've been slacking on that. I guess just because of the lack of podcasts recently. I think I should do it the day that everyone's over, right?
Yeah, that's a perfect time.
This
to do
way I
it.
have like the hype people like, oh shit, and Greg can set up slow-mo on his camera.
Yeah, I'm going to do it at 60 frames per second so you can see every inch of cream enter John's facial area.
Oh.
I want 1080p. Where's the 1080p?
I'm going to give you 4K resolution on that.
Yeah, so you can see the cream hit John's face.
Good.
Fucking gross, man.
What
so-
pie are you doing?
So yeah, we hit our goal. So I'm excited for that. Josh, congratulations, pal. You did
Hey,
it.
and I'm excited to see how you survive through it.
Through the pies in the face or the 24 hours?
Both.
I'm telling you though, I'm going to have 2 new consoles with 10 new games to play. I think 48 hours is going to fly by.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually, you'll probably enjoy it because you'll be able to get a lot of playing out of the way.
I'm a little concerned though, because I'm going to have a lot of people around with, well, it won't be a lot of people. It'll probably be like 5, but I'm worried that people are going to want to get their grubby paws all over my new consoles and ruin all my saved games.
Dude, we're going to be hanging out a lot more soon.
Yeah? I'm going to be the cool kid on the block for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, can I come over?
You're going to be my Louis Miranda when he got Nintendo 64. I'm going to be
Mario.
over there. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to get a shitty controller to give to you. Like a
Mad Catz controller.
with turbo buttons on it and shit.
Here, you can use this one.
Yeah, there's no joysticks on it, so good luck.
Your thumbs will bleed after an hour, but that's all right.
So this time next week, we'll be talking PS4. Our qualms, our loves, maybe it'll break when we turn it on. I don't know. It is a console launch, so we'll see. I'm excited for it, though.
It'll just explode.
I've been counting the days. Also, let's not forget, this Tuesday, Burial at Sea comes out for Bioshock Infinite. The much-awaited return to Rapture. I am very excited.
It should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely should be interesting.
Should be pretty good.
After going to sleep no more, I put in Bioshock 2. That game isn't that great, Bioshock 2. I tried going through it to get... I don't have the achievement for beating it on the hardest difficulty. And let me just say that game is not designed to be played on the hardest difficulty. When you're real quick, when you're playing through it, you have to defend the little sisters when they harvest the atom, right? So when they're harvesting atom, all the splicers come at you, and you use all of your supplies to kill all the splicers, blah, 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 blah. But then you die without letting her harvest all the atom, and you come back with half your health and none of those supplies. So all the supplies are gone. So as you go through, you gradually have less and less shit, and you have no money. So eventually you just get stuck and you have to start over.
He is fuck the little sisters. Fuck the big daddies.
But you have to in this one.
Just let them die. Kill the little sisters.
Just escape.
Just
Rapture.
get out of there.
Like, what if that was an option in the game? Like, just leave.
Just leave. Exit.
So I tried playing that. No good. So I'm really excited to see Rapture from a different direction on Tuesday. I hope you guys are all excited too. It's going to be great.
It'll be a good time. I'm excited. I am excited.
All right. So that's it. That wraps it up this week. Right, Josh? Nothing else to say. Greg, you good, brother?
I'm good. I can't help it.
All right, Josh, thanks for hanging out this week, dude. I really appreciate it. I hope we hit all the topics we had to, because it's been almost, this will be the third week. We went 2 weeks without it. We had people worried sick about us. Sick.
Well, we're alive. I'm alive.
We're good. We're hanging in there. We're getting ready for a big month. Hopefully we'll put some new video content. Hopefully you guys checked out the video Gregg put together for us on Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, Josh, did you see that?
That was very cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
I like the drop where it hits right as soon as you are playing Killer Instinct.
As Gregg loses his Killer Instinct.
Win. I won.
You lost. That's why you bowed down in pain.
It was a battle of victor.
Yeah, so if you haven't checked that video out, it's pretty funny. Josh feeds Gregg. It's a short clip, and one of Gregg's songs is in it. It's a really good song. Yeah. People have been asking.
Oh, is that your song?
It's a remix that I did for Bon Iver remix competition, but it has some of my own vocals in it as well. The chorus part is something I wrote, so it's a remix.
That's awesome.
Really good stuff. I still have to post the link on there. Gregg gave me a link to the direct download, but if you guys are interested in the song, I'll have it up there. If not, just you know where to reach us.
If you don't like the song, you can tell us. You can write us a letter and say the song sucks.
theawaycast@gmail.com.
That's it. I mean, you can give us feedback on anything because we would love to hear something from you guys.
theawaycast.com or AwayCast.com or what is the other one? AwayCast.com. Any one of those sites.
At eBay.com.
Or Google.com. Or webcrawler.com.
Westinghouse.com.
Or
tentacleporn.com.
Oh, that's Josh's favorite website. Josh, thanks so much for hanging out this week, brother.
Aw, thanks for having me.
Pillow Gregg and Gregg, thanks so much for your Batman impressions. Go ahead and give us one more.
Thanks for having us.
No problem, man. Anytime. I'm John Azalona. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the AwayCast. It's going to be a big month. Stick around.
For the AwayCast.